smell that? It smells like a new Smash game on the horizon. And it smells pretty ultimate to me. This sort of occasion doesn't come around all the time, so it's time to do something special and relevant. We're announcing right here the Ultimate Road. Basically, me and my partner are going to be playing a game from almost every series in Smash, and writing a review for nearly all of the ones we feature gameplay for. And as you do, we're starting off with the first franchise slot represented in Smash, Mario. So today, we're taking a good long look at the quirky platformer that ended an era, Super Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins. When you think about Nintendo's consoles, the first thing that should typically come to mind is Mario. The red superstar is on just about every Nintendo console out there, and this is certainly true of Nintendo's handhelds. But around the era of the GameCube and Game Boy Advance, the plumber's iconic brand of 2D action went strangely missing. Sure, there was the Mario Advance series, but they were remakes of old 2D classics like Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 2 or 3. In fact, the next time we actually got a 2D Mario platformer was all the way up until New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. The last game we got from Mario in that style was actually the debut of Wario, Super Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins, for the original Game Boy. Was there something about this game that made Nintendo want to give the 2D games a break? Well, I guess it couldn't hurt to take a look. The game takes place exactly after Mario Land 1. While Mario is away in Sarasa Land, Wario comes along and decides it would be the perfect time to steal Mario's castle? Since when does Mario have a castle? And why did he leave his door unlocked? Actually, I wouldn't put it past Wario to find some way inside the castle. Well, whatever. Wario steals Mario's castle and locks it up with a door that requires 6 golden coins to open. Hence the name, Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins. Wario distributes the coins among his, baddies, I guess? And Mario has to fight his way to get back the coins to gain entrance back into his own castle. Does Luigi live in there too or something? I don't know. Bing bam boom, you get all the coins, ransack the castle, take out Wario, who throws a temper tantrum and chew at you once you beat him, and Mario takes his castle back. And then, Wario decides that if he's not wanted in Mario's game franchise, he'll just leave to a different game franchise of his own. Literally. Like, outside of spin-offs, he's never seen it in another Mario game. He's just his own thing now. Kinda like how DK and Mario don't appear in each other's games outside spin-offs anymore. It's odd, really. But either way, the story is simple. Not really much you can ask for with this kind of thing. It does its job and not much else. Now the graphics, on the other hand, are where I can start singing a different tune. I may be talking about the DX version specifically here, which is the version that I played, but I want to say that the colors look bright and vibrant for what they are. It's all pretty great stuff. The sprites themselves can range from bland to downright goofy, however. Mario's sprite in particular is based off of the one used in Super Mario World, but there's something just a little silly about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. Overall, the game looks fine for Game Boy, and even better hypothetically for the Game Boy Color. The music is alright, I guess. It's nothing really special. As usual, there's one main theme remixed a ton of times for whatever situation. It does its job at being a backdrop for the gameplay, something to fill the void. For what it's worth, it doesn't hurt my ears, and every once in a while, I find a tune I can hum to. A solid C+ for me. So the graphics and music may have aged decently, with a little boost from the DX version, but what about the gameplay? Well, this is a platformer on the Game Boy, so that means screen crunch right off the bat. But how well is the gameplay even in light of that? Well, it does hold up pretty well, but there were a couple times where I'd get hit from something off screen without being able to dodge in time, or just in general falling off a cliff that, you know, I just kind of took a leap of faith and just died instantly. Mario's controls are somewhat stiff, I find, which can make precise platforming something of a chore, but I think that's to be somewhat expected from the original Game Boy, honestly. Power-ups are also nothing to really get excited about. There's the Super Mushroom, the Fire Flower, and the Carrot, which is unique to this game. Using it gives Mario rabbit ears and lets him spam the jump button to descend slowly through the air, a la the Super Leaf from Super Mario Bros. 3. It does its job, but the transformation itself is probably one of the most visually underwhelming in the entire franchise. Using it for platforming makes the game a breeze, however. It's a good time if you can use it right. There's obviously 6 worlds for you to go through in this game, and to be honest, the flavors you get this time around are pretty unique and not something you see very often in a Mario game. You get Tree Zone, Turtle Zone, Moon Zone, Pumpkin Zone, Mario Zone, and Macro Zone. Shoutouts to Pumpkin Zone and Mario Zone specifically. One is a horror-themed level that doesn't come down to just a haunted house with booze, and the other is a giant robotic statue of Mario that you scale like a divine beast in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild to reach the M on Mario's cap, where you fight the 3 little pigs. I'm not even going to try to explain that one, so moving on. The point I'm trying to make is that the locales you visit are something a bit more interesting than the stuff you'd expect from a Mario platformer, especially a 2D one. While we're on the topic of bosses, I just want to note that most of them are extremely simple and extremely easy. Except for the 3 little pigs, they can fuck right off. Also, one of the bosses is Tatanga, the final boss of Mario Land 1. He got demoted, I guess. Let's briefly talk about difficulty for a moment now that we're on the subject. To tell the truth, I've seen and played much worse bullshit difficult games multiple times before, but this game does sink to some lows to try to inflate playtime. It's not above using some cheap tactics like invisible blocks to prevent you from jumping on an enemy. Also, if you die, you lose all the coins you got through your adventure and are forced to regain them by fighting all the bosses again. Yes, that includes the levels leading up to the bosses. That can be very annoying if you've never really played the game before, like me. The only other annoying thing other than that is Wario's Castle, which is a long corridor of bullshit that you're forced to do in one go. Unless you have save states. Anyways, all in all, the game's difficulty isn't too big of an issue until the very end. And even then, Wario himself is a pushover, like all the other bosses. Not too good a look for your first outing there, buddy. The game practically showers you in lives as well, so it's not too big a deal. But after all is said and done, Mario Land 2, not bad. A little rough around the edges, and certainly not the first Mario I would revisit, but it's a good time nonetheless. I would have probably been all over this game if I was younger, and if you're one of the people that played the original and haven't felt like returning to it, try out the DX version of the game. It adds color to all the places and characters, and even adds in Luigi as a playable character, with his own little quirks. If you're really starving for some Mario action and are out of other options, there are certainly worse things you could play. That's about it for my thoughts on Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins. But let's say we have someone else follow Wario on his adventures. Next time on the Ultimate Road, we'll be taking a look at Wario World. See you next time.